I get into counseling and I'm like, no, there is something better than counseling, or there's something more about counseling. So even when I'm going to counsel, what am I going to counsel about? No one told me that there's anything like a niche. No one told me that there's anything like passion. And yet I did 3 years at campus doing that. Now, that is when I knew that, by the way, I actually need to elevate and go for a master's. When I went for a master's, that's when I knew I had to actually niche down, and I knew that I had to follow my heart. No one was going to tell me what I needed to do. So I actually knew that I paid fees to go and lecture myself, you know, and just discover myself. It was self-discovery. I paid 3 years, potea, nothing. Twakuba amachupa ebifaananyi by'amachupa ku campus. And then when I went to one of my lecturers for a session, because I was going through the roughest patch of my life, my friend, she could not even tell me anything. Like, seriously, I poured my heart out, told her everything, and then she looked at me and she told me, you're going to be okay. And then I knew there was something wrong. Like, seriously, that is when that session for me was mind-blowing, because she was a professor. For that session, like, it was mind-blowing because it helped me identify. So I was like, what exactly am I going to do? I've actually been doing way better than she has done. So that means I need to be able to find my own footing. And that is when I found it. Now, when it comes to working smarter, when you find a working formula and you're like, you know, find your niche, follow your purpose. I mean, go on social media, know exactly the people that you're influencing. This is how you package. This is how you create courses. This is how you create products. This is how you are finding a smarter way of operation. Okay? And then number 2, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. Working smarter means identifying where your strength should go and cutting your strength from everything else. If you know there are some vampires in your life that are draining your life, no manya, I have to cut off these vampires. Okay? If you know that where you're putting your energy, actually it's not even appreciated, you cut off. Some of us are over-serving where we are not even appreciated. So you know that, you know what, I am going to concentrate on this thing because I have seen it work. There is a working formula, and then out of this working formula, I can develop so many other things. So you cannot have it all. You cannot have it all. Number 3, you have to be proactive. Nothing is going to find you. The life that you want, you have to go out and create it. It's not going to come to you. Remember, we're talking about leadership. If you want to be a leader that has influence, when you look, and I know that we all have people that we admire, you look at them and you're like, oh my God, how they look, how they smell, like what comes out of their mouth, like you just love everything about them. That is a magnet that should be pulling you to say that, you know what, there are certain steps that I must take. I must be proactive. You coming here is proactiveness on your side. You did not wait for this life to come to you. You came to it. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of humility. A lot of humility for any of us, because I have gone to I've attended some conferences. I have, even internationally, even online, and maybe someone would have said, but Bahati, that is, I mean, you're also here. We thought you knew everything. I can't know everything. I am still in the learning process. And one thing that I have identified and is so important to me, I can learn from each one of us. All of you have strengths. When I talk about child upbringing, my sister here, she will hold my hand in that arena. Okay? If I talk about, planning and living an organized life, Coach Fifi is there to keep me focused. I can't have it all. If I am thinking about my socials and my brand and how it's going to grow, Ben is there. I have made sure that I surround myself with a support system and people that are actually holding my hand to grow. So for them, they will look at me and say, Hilda is our coach. Hilda is, this. Hilda, little, and I keep telling them, you are holding my hand. I could never have done anything without you people being pillars in my life. So that means we learn from all sources. So be proactive and make sure that you go out there. Now, there is a time we talked about the reactors and initiators. How many of us were in that session? Reactors and initiators. For the sake of those that were not here, I want us to run through it very quickly. You just have initiators and reactors. Remember, we talked about being proactive, working smart, and you can't have it all. Now, when you come to the initiators, they prepare. Okay? You know you're going to lead people, so you cannot lead from behind. You have to have the prior knowledge of how you're going to lead them. So you prepare, okay? Let's go through the initiators first, then we will go through the reactors, okay? The initiators, you prepare. Number 2, you plan ahead. Let's go to seizing the moment, putting their priorities in their calendars. We talked about that. You put your priorities, mark what do you want to do. Someone was wanted a session, and it was so urgent because they called me, and I was like, you know what? I am afraid I actually am booked up until January. The sessions I can have are starting with February 1st. And I was like, but I can refer you to a colleague that I work with. And I have so many colleagues and coaches here, and I know their strengths. So if this person wants anything to do with children, I know Coach Fifi is here, I know Coach Janet is here. If someone wants to do something with marriage, I know Coach Christine is here, Coach Zai is here, so I know everyone's niche, and I know what they can do. And that is why I take it upon myself to train you myself, so that I can be able to recommend you. Because then I know you will deliver. So now I'm being able to, because I knew I would not serve the entire world. So I'm being able to reproduce myself and mark my words. For those of you that have come to my inbox and you've told me, I would love to be like you, I have told you can even be more than me. Because I am not replicating a lesser brand. I am actually not duplicating myself because I am less. I am creating a formidable brand that is invisible, that is going to penetrate this generation more than I've penetrated it. So most of you know the jargons of this nation. Some of you are going to be better than me even at social media. Some of you are going to speak to nations. Your calling is not even here in Uganda. This is just a starting point and a stepping stone for you to actually cast yourself wide. But only those that are going to initiate are going to get to those heights. You do not become better than Bahati by folding your hands or by reacting to situations. You seize the moment when you see it. Okay? So, you put your priorities. You can't arrange your priorities minus knowing them. So you must know them in order to prioritize them. And then invest time in people. We talked about investing time in people. I have invested time in people time and again. There is no loss in investing time in people. No loss in investing time in people. I am here. I have a 7-month-old. He is sick. But he is in the capable hands of my sister that I know will do anything together, as in, even if it means putting down her life for my son, she will. Because I've invested time in her. And it's not just being appreciative, but I discovered that is her strength. Okay? So, invest time in people. When you pour into people's lives, a lot of those, even if those people, I think we were here, and allow me call you Coach Catherine. She told us something that was very profound, that do not wait to sow where you are reaping. Because some of us are putting in seeds, netuzitakula. Yameze? No. Sometimes the blessing that God has prepared is from another door altogether. It's not where you are sowing, but when you are sowing, sow with resilience, sow with patience, sow with commitment, sow with consistency. Do not give up. you can never know where it's coming. You can't. When I was beginning this kind of work, little did I know that it will not just stop at me being on TV and being in magazines and having such events. I didn't know that I would attract the international market. Right now, I am being paid for not doing anything. You understand that? Because when I say it, like, it sounds so funny. But you're being paid. Checks come in every month. And I am no longer counting. I am no longer even anticipating which day. I don't know which day they drop. But it's not like I have to lift a finger to do anything. Like what I have established consistently. The bears and the demons and the lions that have fought in the background right now speak louder for me. Because the manifestation has happened. Okay? So, I need you to take that step and invest in people. Care about people. Love them. Okay? Love on them. Even those that are unlovable. Waliwo abantu abatayagalikika. Naye ne bwajja nga tayagalikika, find one thing to love about them. Okay? Find one thing to love about them. I think it was today I picked a call and this person, actually no, it was a message. You know, the person who will tell you the same thing over and over and over again, and it's totally outside your scope. So I'd referred them, you know, tried to do what, but I was like, you know what, for only this time, I will time the time I'm in office and I will tell them right now I have time. You have 30 minutes to reach my office. When I met this person, like, he sounded so disorganized, like there was nothing like adding up coming from them. But guess what? This person had connections. And the little time that I gave him, he was like, you know what? I know people who will need your services. You've given me time. You've listened to me. In your busy schedule, you were even getting out and you stayed for me. I have people who need your services. Connected me to some Sudanese, connected me to some Liberians, connected me. And I will tell you the reason as to why I'm opening about all this. I think I have gotten more than, what will I say? More than 40 millions from the connections that the person has given me. I saw him free of charge. And I was like, you know what? You know, like that person in the Bible where she was saying that, you know what? I was that kind of judge. I was like, you know what? This person has been too much. Let me give them time. And I was like, 30 minutes. I think he left everything he was doing and came. But I realized that this person actually has a lot more potential. But because of what they're going through, you know, problems can cause people to act like they're crazy. So I needed to actually read into them and have the spirit of discernment to know what they're going through because they could not even put it in words. So I told him that this and this is what is bothering you. So let's find together a solution because I cannot find a solution alone. And we went through the criteria and the options. I was like, why didn't I think about that? And then after that, he's like, this is my card. Contact me. I have people that I need to put, to put to you. And only that, caring about, because I could have said, you know what, if you don't have this amount of money, you can't see me. But I was like, you know what, let me hear them out. It seems that there is something bigger that is happening in their lives than they even care to elaborate. So love people and take care of people. It's going to take you very, very, very far, okay? How you care about people. Some of you will ask me, how do I love people? How do I care about people? If you work in a boutique, and I come to you once and I come to you twice, the next time you should know my size and you should know my taste. Wanji? And you should be able to suggest a few things and say, Bahati, according to how I see you and what you do, because, what does it take? These days we are in a social media. When someone comes to you and they give you their name and their number, go in the habit of checking them out. It's like, according to what you do, and this would look good on you. Then I'm like, this person took extra care of actually knowing what will look good. Let me tell you, people will even buy when they don't need. Why? Because you took time and loved them. I want you to think about me. Like I matter. I'm a client. We say clients are king, right? So when you love on people, what kind of business are you doing? What kind of job are you doing? Consultancy, where you must be a lover of people. Yeah, you must be a lover of people, because if it's consultancy, people are going to come with lack of clarity. People are going to come, and they need more clarity from you. They need guidance from you, or they need you to be knowledgeable, because you are the source, of knowledge for them. So that means you must love them enough, even when they are slow thinkers, to still elaborate. Someone will call you. You had a meeting. You went through the whole process, and they will still call you and say, "Posi, what did you say?" And you say, "Oh God, do I have to repeat the whole process again?" But as a lover of people, when you repeat the process, it determines whether that person is going to give you that deal or not. It's very possible that he called another person and is like, "You know what? I attached it on email. We took a minute, and we took 30 minutes to go through it. I clearly don't have any more time to clarify." But because you were humble enough to say, "What exactly didn't you understand?" And maybe they will tell you, "This policy, I need to be able to understand." And you take and they're willing to pay. They're like, "You know what? You've even guilt-trapped them." They're like, "Can take this business to another place." Do you see that when you care about people, it comes back to you in a way? So don't expect from the same people that you're caring for, but it can come back in so many different ways. Okay? Yes, hi, amazing people. We're making this
gonna be powerful, because this time you show up, you speak out,
and then you stand out.
Exactly. So come, show up this time. 4th August?
Yes, 4th of August, and we're starting at 4 p.m. It's going to start with roundtables, Beyond Success, and then we're going to dive into a very great panel, how different people stood out in business, in their calling, in their purpose, diversifying their income. So we're waiting for you on the 4th of August, Tobani Center, second level or second floor. Make sure that you are there by 4 p.m. and let's transform our lives together.
Remember, it's free of charge, both
men and women.
You don't get the life that you deserve, but that which you decide. It's time for you to decide to dominate your life. You don't do that by just having passion, you need a plan. Let's show you how you grow practically in character, competence, and in other areas of life. Welcome back to Bahati.
Let me tell you, live like you're going to live 100 years. Okay? Live like you're going to live 100 years. But when it comes to pursuing your purpose, pursue it like you're going to die tomorrow. But when it comes to living and planning, plan like you have 100 years ahead of you. How are you going to live those 100 years? Some of you are here, but you're in your late 20s and 30s. You have never known what a retirement fund looks like. How many of us have retirement funds? You have... Gundi! Ngolo wozanyo. How many of us have retirement funds? You have? We have like 2 people in this room, 3 people. So we are like 4 people in this room who have a retirement. But let me tell you, you can like any time you can forcefully retire, and then there is a retirement that you wait until your retirement comes. And then there are some of us who just don't want to be in active policies past certain age. Right? I should be, about my business and pursuing and, vacationing and having fun. Since I related naku. Wanji? But plan, okay? So now I've put that inside of you. A retirement fund is very important, and you start it while you're in your 20s. Some of you think you should think of retirement while you're 40. No, start when you're in your 20s. What kind of life do you want to be? That mokadde alinana amalibu naye ng'osabiriza? Nabagamba, this generation, abana baffe, we are the ones who are going to help them. So you might as well plan for that. While you plan for your retirement, plan that you're going to have dependents. Okay? Okay, so they wait for the phone to ring. Remember, we say the initiators call, but these ones wait for the phone to ring all the time. And then they react to problems. And number 5, they wait for the right moment. There is never a right moment. Remember, the other side, we seize the moment. But here they wait for the right moment. They put others' requests in their calendars. You know, for example, you know, so-and-so is going to have an event. So-and-so is going, like you have, but for you, you cannot prioritize and say, you know what, every end of month, how many of you do nails here? You do nails? You do your nails? Do you have a particular time you do your nails? Aha. So some of you don't have a particular time you actually do your nails. For example, right now my nails are resting. And they're going to rest for 2 weeks. That's why, because then when, sometimes when I'm up and down, I prefer having acrylics because they take longer. But right now, I'm putting on my natural nails and they're resting for a while. I do my nails every beginning of month. So I have that on calendar because I don't have that much time to be around and doing things, okay? So make sure that you know that, by the way, this is what I do. For example, when do I do shopping? Some of you buy random clothes. Like, seriously. Aha, engere je musesemu. Oli waitawo nakagato ka blue n'ogula. Baitawo n'engato ya purple n'ogula. Bwaita bragamba, ha, waliwo ka blouse kali aka pink n'engato ejagenderako n'ogigula. Like, we do that and we never, and then we ask, where is our money going? You're being a reactor. Now, an initiator, I buy my clothes every June. Yes. In media, every media, I change my wardrobe. June, because then I've gone through the first part of the year. So if I want to change anything, and depending on my condition, back then maybe I'm thinking whether I'm going to be pregnant or whether I'm going, so I check out all my seasons and what's going to be happening, whether I'm going to be traveling or whether I'm going to have more TV appearances. Because when you have TV appearances, like, seriously, when you put it on the following day, they're like, Mama, Bahati ayambala lugoye room. So you become, so for those of you that are on mentorship, my friend, that is what the world you're getting into. Being in public eye and being a public figure and a celebrity is no joke. So it's going to teach you a lot of things, okay? And it doesn't mean that you should spend a lot. I don't spend a lot on my clothes. I don't. I will time my seasons, I will buy in bulk, or I will buy when I have traveled. I will do something that makes sure that my budget is less than what I should have spent. Because then, I have other things to do. Okay? And then, you spend time with the people. Reactors spend time with the people. Wali olumbe tugende. Banange pate ya end of year wa chichi ya company ya ferane bwe mbasiri mukozi nsobola okujja waliwo abamu mugenda ku end of year parties ezitali za companies zammwe mwebali muli so waje kikubidde, you know, ate bobera mu church banange simanyi eri waliyo youth service, oh baby shower. You know, we're going to put on pink. Then Bali, we're going to put on floral. Nobera mu pink, nobera mu floral, nobera mu red, nobera mu sky blue jeans, simani tone jeans, mwenda muli wano. So for you, you are busy just reacting to other things. You're spending time with people. But let me tell you, when you spend time with people, when it comes time for your need, they run away. They ghost you. Gamba gundi ya good day, alikundiri. Let me tell you, bagenda kubeera ku party. Nga bambadde ne patra. Ng'oli ku oxygen. When you invest time in people, they would cancel everything that they have. And they will be by your side praying for you and claiming you back. I told you about the story about my mother last time. And the lady that she claimed back, and she was like, you are not dying. She had her receipts that she had built church, and she was like, I am claiming you back because of the good works that you have done in God's house. You're not going anywhere. You still have to serve God. But why? Because she had invested time in her, okay? That is why you get dissatisfied after some time, because then you are not among the planners, you are not like amongst the priorities, but you are thought of as someone who feeds off the crumbs, because then you have to be reactionary, because that leader is actually reactionary, is not an initiator. Do you get what I'm saying? Because an initiator automatically goes on top. You cannot initiate while you're behind. Even when you're behind, bagamba ekirabo ky'omuntu kimusegulize ekkubo. So while you're speaking and you bring a good idea, before you know it, in the boardrooms, you're the ones come and defend your idea. So you find yourself, you have to defend your idea. Because maybe you told it to your manager, but your manager didn't understand it. So he has to call you to come and explain. Before you know it, okay, Kale, even if you don't want a big position, there are people who have denied big position. I don't want to be the HR, but I can actually be chief of, or maybe assistant. Why? It's because they still want to hide somewhere, okay? But they know that they are built for something more. I want you to look at every mover and shaker. They have a longing to be something more inside of you. Okay, so I wanted to give you that background to show you that, by the way, you are meant for more. Now, what is holding you back is the fear. And the fear is because of two things. The fear of the unknown, and that is the anxiety, right? And the regrets of the past. That is holding you. You don't know how this thing is going to unfold. How fast it's going to catch the fire, where it is going to land, who is going to say what. So you care about what people are going to say. You care that the demons in your closet are going to be displayed. You care that the cans in your the worms in your can are going to be opened. You care about all those things, okay? But let me tell you, you can never. That is why I will say this. Most of the transformational speakers or motivational speakers or people helpers that have been prominent in the world, guess what? Even your brand manager tells you, come out in the open and speak about your dirty linen. So she will come and say, I am a marriage therapist and I've been through 5 divorces. Here in Africa, when you say 5, togenda yeyo. Oh, yagenda kwigiriza okudduka. Togenda yeyo. But they will say, I've been through 5. And guess what? How the Western world views them is, if you have been through 5 divorces, you know you have enough experience to actually help me through mine. Do you get it? So we consume these things differently. The Western has gotten to a place where your past is not a shame. It's not. I mean, I have been single, I have dated, and I have dated like any other girl, right? So if you're going to bring my past right now about who I dated and who I didn't date, the loss is on you. The joke is on you, because you're not telling me news, you're telling me still news. You're actually telling me history. Find something new to tell me. So if you have something new, if you don't have anything new to tell me, I have no ears for you. I will keep going. So let the onlookers say, let the bystanders say, because the best someone can say, togenda gukontrollinga. So if I can't control it and just shut it, why should I mind what comes out of your mouth? And there is no one that is on this growth journey that has time to yap. No one. Every yapper is one who has a lot of time on their hands. They don't know their purpose. They don't know their passion. They are not building anything in this world. So all they have time to do is to deconstruct and pull down and shame and guilt trip and do everything. Now, when you listen to such people, when will you grow? I remember there's a time my husband told me, the house that we built, it was like, genda okwogeza abantu obwama. I was like, babwogere. Tewaliyo gye twabonabonera ne sente gye twazikolera. You get it? As in, how dare you come and start dictating what kind of house I should build? Whether it's a palace, whether it's a mansion, and I'm building it on an acre of land, it's my acre of land. So deal with it. Like, seriously. Now, that attitude, I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying, naye waliwo ebintu like ebikukoya ebikukoyeza obweredo, like okulowooza ku bantu abalala. Now, I'm not saying that we are all going to get that strength to jump out. No, that strength to jump out comes gradually. The more you continue on this journey, the more you grow, the more you discover that ninabe enkotogera by not coming out. But the more you care about people, you're like, njachigabanako n'omuntu omu, njachigabanako n'abantu babiri, abantu ababiri bagenda kufuka abantu ekikumi, whether I'm going to do company one-on-ones or stuff like that. Now the word of mouth is going to go around, and guess what? By the time anyone has something to say, they have something to compare it with. They're like, you get it? Even the naysayers. Now, those that are not sayers, they are busy, they will only take the positive. Because I don't have time, kweti kabitali byange. You get it? So, it's a gradual process. Otherwise, if you pop up like Mberenge, and you're like, I've been hiding, now, ha, I am here. They start shooting. They start shooting you down, you know? What happened, what you said, what's manu, you were what? Because let me tell you, we have been different things in our entire lifetime. We have been different things to different people. Okay? There are some people who will tell you, Bahati, hey. So let whoever, just like Jesus said, let whoever has never done it pick a stone. Where did they disappear from? I think kubanga yagenda okuyimusa amaaso bwati nga no one is there, because chances abe bali basinga obwenzi, be bali basinga, you know, all those things, but they were busy. Stone her aka omusajja gwe yayenze naye aluwa. But hey, culture, let me tell you, our cultures dictate a lot, and I've taken long on this to expound on this because I know that so many of us are stuck somewhere. We feel because, you know, an introvert, and I want to tell you that most people are actually not introverts. They've just been twisted and chained by circumstances. Either where you grew up from, or ebintu ebyakukuba ne bikumalamu confidence, and you found that being an introvert is a safe harbor. You can easily hide. But guess what? When you go to TikTok, ebintu byolaba, olaba mama nsuzi, olaba bakasuka bigereri, the things you consume should tell you who you are. That, by the way, you want a totally different life, but you are chained to a different life. When you see people who are having fun and out there, like, I wish it was me. So most of you are not introverts. Most of you are chained. You are like donkeys that are chained to chairs. You can actually move with that chair, but for you, you think that chair is static. So you have eaten everything around you, all the grass. Now you are gnashing. There is no grass to eat, but you're still chained to the chair. So you're looking to everyone else. That is why when you come here, by the way, I don't just tell you, know, things are going to be okay. You know, go and pray and do this. I tell you, do the work. Wanji? Show up, learn the tricks, and apply them. Okay? If it is to save. If it is to work hard. If it is to wake up early. If it is to do everything that you need to do, then you believe God. Because you believe, he even says that faith without actions. Very dead. How long ago was that book written? Before the birth of Jesus and before what? So before the birth of Jesus, people you put in the work. They did. How many? Not even centuries. We are counting what? I don't even know how to call them because they are too big and too huge. Okay? So from time immemorial, it's about working. It's about looking for a good life. It's about, you know, going beyond yourself. So I want you to look at yourself and say, you know what? What's there? What more can I do? When I just started, said the session, excuse me, I didn't warn you. So, when I began this journey of media, okay, I was a senior 6 vacist, and that is when I started with Spirit FM, so you can imagine how old I am. So, and the available slot then was it was a Prayer Force Africa gig. Prayer Force Africa was a company, and so Prayer Force Africa was like a prayer chain. So we would have radio. So because I was eloquent and I was speaking, and Muchamofu, they were like, you come on radio in the morning and start, supporting the people that are going to be on radio and stuff like that. So that is when I start the journey. Now, when I start the journey, remember, I'm senior 6 vacist. I don't even know where my tuition is going to come from. I'm the firstborn in my family. My parents don't know anything that I should be or where I should be and what I should do. The best thing that my mother did was to actually connect me to Prayer Force Africa, because after that I think she looked at her girl and she was like, you know what, instead of letting you kwara chalo bichi bichi, I would rather I commit you somewhere, I take you somewhere where I know you will be occupied but you'll be doing things of God. So the best thing, and today, up to today, I still thank her. So I go to Prayer Force Africa. That is more than 20 years ago. That is the first time I actually, not the second time I met Tim. I met him at Prayer Force Africa. So I start my journey at Prayer Force Africa, radio, and coming in the morning. I told you about my ordeal where the radio would go off, and then we were at UCU, and then I would have to go to the generator room. But I was so small. Someone told me today that they saw my picture when I was in that shop, like nalinga kati, literally. So I would go to the generator room. You know how those big generators, by the time it lights up the whole UCU, like it's a huge generator. So kujibukira and make sure that I switch on like the light, and I have to hold on for my dear life to make sure that switch happens from power to generator, and that is sawa kumi za chiro. I would do that nearly every day because I would switch off the radio at midnight and I would switch on to Praise FM. It was an international radio, and in the morning at around 3:30 or 3:40 I would go to the generator room, and it was a distance. Even when it rained and there was thunder, I was the girl who was keeping the whole station, and I would move across to go and put on the generator. But while I put on the generator, in my heart, I was not content to say that, you know what, this is it, I have arrived. Because so many of us arrive at levels where we are not supposed to arrive. In my heart, I was like, there is something more that I can actually do. There is something more that I can actually do. There is something beyond just switching on the generator and switching on the TV, the radio, and just keeping it at that and praying in the morning. So what happened one day, there was a wedding and I accepted to be an MC. Senior 6 vacist. The MC disappeared and I was like, I am here. So they gave me my first gig as an MC. And I remember it was at Lugogo Uma Ground. By then, 20 years ago, by the time my wedding was at Lugogo Uma Ground, it was a big wedding. So I went and MC'd. While I am there, now Ben and Masan, Uncle Sam is where he saw me doing MC job and was like, you can actually work on radio. I was like, yes. I didn't know what they do on radio like that much, but I was like, yes, I can actually do radio. And the next weekend, I was on a show. Actually, it was called Africa Anointed. It was a Sunday show. My friend, I became a celeb immediately. But remember, I had within me that I cannot settle. This is not it. Like, this is not it. There must be something bigger than this. But still, even after I got a radio show, weekend radio show, and I would sit in for everyone else. The night presenter is not around, I am around. The morning presenter is not around, Nze Uyo. Mid-morning is not around, Nze Uyo. I am so thankful for saying all the yeses that I said in this life. They got me to where I am. I said yes without hesitating. I threw myself at tasks that I even had no business doing. I didn't know how I would do them, but I said I will learn. Even if I didn't study for it, I will know how to do it. So I would study all those softwares. I would do what? I learned how to record. I did all those things. Ben, I did production job for Koboko for almost 3 years. You know, these people, when they look at me, they say, hey, yes. That is the journey that I took to get to where I am. Now, from all those things, went on radio and went into business, did so many things, came back to Spirit FM, but the years, the 20 years and so much more, the evolving and the growth that has happened in my life has been as a result of saying there is something more after this. There is something more after where I am. Some of us got married and we thought that is it. Like seriously. I remember there's when you're growing, there's a curve where you get and plateau a bit. I remember there's a time I was like, like seriously, I think there is nothing more. Like that even made me hate marriage. I was like, no. When I woke up, I was like, no, marriage is not, life is not just about getting married and having children and that is it. Like I felt there was something. How many of you feel that there's something more inside of you? Something more to work towards. Now, the moment you sense that there's something more, there's an unsettling feeling. And I guess that is the reason we are all here. That we are all on the path to grow. Do you see that I'm in front of you? I am still growing. I am not settled. There's something more than where I am right now. And I must reach out for it. Okay? So while I hold other people's hands, I'm also raising my hand for someone to lift me. Because there is always someone that can take me to the next level. I remember the person that recommended me to Beyond Success, to John Maxwell team. This is a person that came to Uganda for the first time from Ghana, and he had a Africa radio broadcast conference. And so when he was told, Bahati works with a radio and stuff like that, so he got in touch with me, randomly, like someone is saying, I'm going to a country, I don't know anyone, maybe let me make a few friends. So this person connects, invites me for the conference, and I'm like, you know what, I will go and sit behind and just watch, how these things are going. So that I went once to the conference. It was the whole week. I went once. It was at the Mirembe guest house. I went once, sat behind, registered, looked at everything that was going on, but I made sure that I humbly welcome him. I made sure that I connect him with a driver who would take him around. Now, little did I know that 7 months after he went back to Ghana, and he was asked, who do you know in Africa? In Africa, who can run this project? He was like, I know Bahati. He had met me once. You get it? But the saying yes to go to the right place, to do the right thing, made a connection. And I've gotten so many. That is why I usually tell you, be a lover of people and believe in people. Even when they are bad, you can never know what can come out of that. Now, I'm saying that because of the constant yeses I said at every step of my life. And I did not worry about what people would think. There are things that things I've done and they would look stupid to another. I have taken free gigs and told me we don't have money. And I'm like, it's okay. I will do it because it's my passion. And then while you are doing it, you are actually getting a referral in the middle of doing it. Okay? So the constant yeses are going to lead you to, and while you say yes, while you say no to the least important things, save the yeses for the most important things. And I want you to be able to see, to have those second eyes and discernment where opportunities are, and be able to actually say yes when an opportunity presents itself. Because sometimes the opportunities are not wrapped in the papers that we expect are going to be wrapped. Some of them come with dirt. Some of them are not in proper wrapping papers. But they are opportunities, okay? Some of them have a silver lining somewhere, but we cannot see it. It's carrying a blessing somewhere, but you cannot see it. So I want you to be a mega person that is going to say yes. We have 2 months. It's actually less than a month. 2 months. And the question I want to ask you, where you are right now, is that where you envisioned to be at the beginning of this year? How many of us say that where you are right now is where you envisioned to be? None of us. So that means we are in the same boat that must make an about turn and decide to pursue one thing. I want you to drop all the other things that you had set on your list to achieve, and I want you to name one thing. One thing that you're going to give your best shot and say, if I achieve this, I will have made a turnaround in this year and I will have achieved something worthwhile. How many of us are ready to do that? Can we name that one thing?
My name again is Patience Nwasima. when I was drawing my year's plan, I had a couple of things I wanted to do. For starters, I was working as an executive director in an NGO, and I had said that is not going to be enough for me. I needed more money. And I had set out that by the end of 2022, I need to have 5 sources of income. But like I mentioned some time back, I'm an introvert, and unless you give me an opportunity, sometimes I have a tendency of like laying back. But I knew where my strength was. For example, I had set out among the 5 different sources of income I wanted to do, I wanted to start events hosting, because I know yeah, when I hold the mic and I say I'm going to speak, I will really speak. And I wanted to do that mainly for weddings and maybe graduations here and there. Now, I set that goal, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. I reached out to companies that I knew would help hold my hand, like we say here. And most of these people didn't give me feedback. And unfortunately, for me, it turned me down. I was like, I think maybe I'm not good enough, or these people don't see the good that is in me. So 5 months down the road, around May, I remember I was walking down the road from work, and I was like, but wait a minute, Patience, you said you're going to do this. What happened? So I reached out to one person, and then he's like, just that call. I called this person. I got their number from their social media account, and then I called. And then this gentleman is like, just the way you talked is enough for me to know that you can do this. So here we are going to do this. So he gave me an appointment. Now, the place where he wanted me to meet him, I asked a friend of mine, and she's like, that place, Pesha, if you don't have 200,000 for a plate of food, don't dare. I looked at myself. We had no money. The organization hadn't paid us. So I was like, Chiwede, I can't go. I canceled the appointment, guys. Yeah, I canceled the appointment. I'm telling you this because I know it's going to help someone out there, and because I know I've now gone beyond that. But that time, that was in May, I canceled the appointment because I was like, this guy is just too expensive. He wants to kukula me, like, who's going to pay for that food? What if he reaches? But remember, I hadn't heard his side of the story. I didn't know whether he was going to pay or it's me who was going to pay. Like, for me, I just made that conclusion from the discussion I had with this friend of mine. So I canceled. I just told this person, you know what, my child is sick. I'm not able to come. He's like, okay, we'll plan next time. We didn't plan. May, June, July, August. It is in September that I reached out again. And then he's like, I'd even forgotten about you. He had forgotten about me. Like, who forgets he had even, how? But I also hadn't followed up. Now, last month in October, on 1st, I have a small board I put on my bedroom door. So I went back and visited. It's after actually, I was from here. So I went and visited my plans, my monthly goals. And I was like, what happened to this particular plan? What happened? So I said, I'm not even going to reach out to him. Let me first market myself. Once I get there, then I reach out to him. So that if he has something to do for me, it's just going to be top up. So I went to some wedding meeting at Centenary Park, and I told the chairman of the meeting that, you know what, I want to be the MC of your event. The chairman was like, it's rare for women to come and say they want to be MCs at weddings, but if you're ready, let me speak to the Mugole. The guy, he didn't know me, I didn't know him, but he stood up, went and talked to this lady, and then he's like, she can be our MC. So they're like, how much do you charge? Guys, I didn't know what to charge.
How much did you tell them?
I didn't know what to charge. So I told them, can you give me 500,000? The Mugole was like, Musasule ko deposit. Then I was like, I should have charged more. I should have charged more. But it opened my eyes that actually I can do this. If I determine myself and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, I can do it. So come 2022, I'm saying by the end of this year, I have to make sure every month. We have only 2 months, remember. We have only this November and December. But I've set out and I'm saying, by the time we close December, I want to have a record of 4 weddings that I've emceed at, because I can do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thank you for watching. Bahati comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 p.m. here on Spirit TV.